Welcome. Today we'll learn about enrollment reporting transmission types. First of term, subsequent of term, end of term. What do all these mean? The Clearinghouse recommends schools send enrollment reporting files at least 4 times per term or semester. However, many participating schools are sending files to the Clearinghouse on a monthly basis. We encourage this, since it ensures the most recent file is being submitted to NSLDS. There are 7 transmission types schools can send to the Clearinghouse. Some are required and some are optional. They are first of term, subsequent of term for end of term transmissions, graduates only, summer, early registration, and non-required non-summer, also known as special term. All students enrolled in a term should be reported for each submission for that term. The only exception being the graduates only file type, which would be only those students graduating in the term being reported. Early registration and special term are not required transmissions. However, we strongly recommend special term transmissions for schools who offer those sessions. The first of term transmission is usually the first enrollment file schools send at the start of the term or semester. It is typically sent after a school's census date or at drop period. It is used to report all students enrolled for the current term. It is also used to determine which students must be reported as withdrawn because they have not returned from the prior term. The first of term transmission must be certified within 30 days of the term begin date for compliance reasons. Subsequent of term transmissions will capture enrollment of late registering students and students who have withdrawn or changed status after the registration period ended. Additional subsequent of term files will capture students who have withdrawn or changed status during the term and should be provided every 30 to 45 days. As previously mentioned, all students should be reported each time, even if there is no change in status or other information. Subsequent of term for end of term transmissions are sent just before or shortly after the end of a term or semester. These are used to report enrollment of late registering students and students who have withdrawn or changed status since the previous submission. These transmissions should be scheduled no more than 5 days before the term end date and no more than 30 days after term end date. Depending on the timing, this file may include the students who have graduated, or a separate file may be reported for those students only. The Graduates Only file is used to report graduating students who are not included in your subsequent transmissions for the end of term. These transmissions should be scheduled after the term has ended and prior to the next first of term transmission to the Clearinghouse. If graduates are not reported in either a subsequent transmission for the end of term or Graduates Only transmission, the Clearinghouse will report them as having separated from your school at the beginning of the next required term. So in order to send a graduated status to lenders, guarantors, and the Department of Education, it is essential that your graduates are reported to the Clearinghouse. If you are enrolled in the G from Degree feature, then the Clearinghouse is taking your Degree Verify file submission and generating a Graduates Only enrollment file on your behalf. Students with degree records reported will get a graduated enrollment record generated to their enrollment, provided their enrollment is not more than 120 days old. A G status will also be added to their program information as long as a matching CIP code is reported in the degree record. However, if a student has re-enrolled, the G status will not post to either the campus or program level. If your school offers summer sessions, the Clearinghouse strongly recommends reporting every 30 days. If summer is a non-standard or not a required term at your institution, You should report student enrollment at least once, as it allows the clearinghouse to accurately report the withdrawal date of students who were enrolled in the spring and summer, but who are not returning in the fall. Non-required, non-summer, or special term transmissions are not required, but are suggested transmissions for schools offering special sessions. These transmissions allow the clearinghouse to accurately report the enrollment status of students enrolled, as well as the correct separation date in the event the student does not return for the next required term. Early registration transmissions are completely optional. Schools that send these are usually schools with enrollment over 5,000 who plan to send their first of term transmission more than 18 days after the start of term. These schools are looking for a way to alleviate the large number of requests for enrollment verification they receive prior to their first of term transmission. This transmission can be sent as early as 30 days before classes begin, but no later than 10 days after classes begin. Because files are processed in chronological order, the prior term's data must be completed first. This transmission only reports deferrable statuses and is not the same as advanced registration. In cases of official withdrawals or critical enrollment corrections that can't wait for a regularly scheduled transmission, schools can perform an online update. These updates are performed individually on the Clearinghouse Secure site and are the quickest way for your data at the Clearinghouse to reach the lending community. For more information, visit our Help Center online or contact us at 703-742-4200. You can also email us at service@studentclearinghouse.org.